time. So, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as the Blue Protoss, playing for Team Edification Empire and 1-0 up in this series, we have Spida. And spawning in the top left-hand corner as the Red Zerg, currently teamless and needs to win 2 games to bring himself back and win this series, we have Gunnersmate. And I can't really talk too much about last game other than once again just iterating how incredible that push from Spida was. The force fields were the most important factor of that because they did so much. The time warp slowed down the army and then he trapped almost all of it behind, killing off any of the reinforcements that Gunnersmate would have had in that battle, killing off the Hydras before they were able to deal with the Void Rays. So he had the Void Rays when he battled those roaches. The Immortals didn't take the damage they could have done early. So really good engagement for Spida. It was pretty much the perfect engagement he could have done. That couldn't have gone much better unless he'd already had Colossus at that point. So at the moment though, we are just in the very early start of the game. So both players just going to begin to macro up. Spawning pool first for Gunnersmate. Drone being annoying by Spida, which is something he does fairly regularly. He's one of those players who does like to bug you. If he's playing against a Terran, he will attack your SCV that you're using to build, and basically be very annoying. And once again, being annoying, he's just going to park his probe down here and block the expansion. But once again, Gunnersmate reacting with the 2 drone, attack the probe, force it to get out of there, and means you get your expansion fairly quickly rather than having to play the dancing game. Expansion, once again, also going down for Spida, pretty much matching the strategy from last game. Both players, expansions down pretty much simultaneously. So it's really good to see. It's really good to see both players just going same strategies. It means Gunnersmate has the chance to redeem himself. Basically, if he's going the exact same strategy as last time, and Spida goes the exact same strategy, Gunnersmate, if he can get a better engagement, if he can dodge those force fields a bit, then he's going to show how incredibly good he is in this engagement. Whereas Spida, he only needs to just break through Gunnersmate one more time in order to get through, and he can do it. He's proved how good he is repeatedly in the ESET show matches and other tournaments. He is an incredible player at the moment. So this is going to be really good right now. I really can't wait to see how this goes. But at the moment, we're still in the opening. Gunnersmate did already send out a Zergling to the 3rd base to try and stop the drone that would be blocking it, but the drone hasn't actually arrived yet. The drone is on its way down to the 3rd base, but will actually arrive after the drone has already built the... Yeah, I've been calling probes drones again. Has arrived after the drone has already built that expansion, which means the Zergling will instead of killing the drone that was the probe that was blocking the expansion, will be used to chase the probe all the way home, going wee. For the moment though, Spida is using his Cybercore fairly far forward in his wall off, a bit risky, but it is just going to add to that wall off. So it's going to be very interesting, and I would like to point out, Des in the chat just pointed out he really wants Gunners to win or Spida to have a power cut so that he won't end up playing Spida or, well, playing that would have been a PvP, but also I think he's a bit scared of Spida's playstyle at this point. Spida's playstyle last game was incredibly powerful. That was a really good strategy and a really powerful attack, so could it be that his next opponent could be a bit scared? But Gunnersmate needs to see if he can deliver for Dez right now. Gonna be very interesting to see. Double gas going down for Gunnersmate in the natural expansion. Once again, same old strategy of throwing down something in the expansion so your opponent doesn't know what else you have elsewhere. He could have 4 gas, he could have just these 2 gas. So it's just going to be that whole idea, but this also means that Gunnersmate doesn't even have speed, doesn't have his Roach Warren yet. He's just droning up at the moment. Whereas Spida, on the other hand, is going for pretty much the same strategy. He already has his Robo and is just finishing up his Stargate. And he will probably be starting his Immortals. Actually, does he have his Robo? Or did I miss it? No, he's starting his Robo now. He's building Phoenix first this time. I stand corrected. I saw that completely wrong. So his Stargate first, then Robo this time. So he's changing it up a bit could be going for a bit of Phoenix harass, so it's going to be quite curious as to how he plays this. Could be Phoenix harass, or it could be just that one Phoenix to deal with some overlords around the base, while he continues to build some Void Rays for the attack this time. Roach Warren is already about halfway complete for Gunnersmate. That thing builds so fast. And Evolution Chambers have just finished up. Speed also on the way for the Zerglings, and the lair is about 2/3 done. So Gunnersmate is just continuing to tech up at the moment, but he needs to be careful. He needs to see what his opponent's doing. Overlords are, however, now being driven out of the base by the Phoenix production, and this does mean that are going to be quite at least 3 Phoenix out on the field and a robotics bay. We are seeing Spida as this time is going Colossus. There are Immortals on the way, but he's going to have Colossus this time. Phoenix already moving out across the field, going to try and do some harassment. I do apologize. Phoenix are going to group up. 3 Phoenix at least going to try and do the harassment. But at the moment, just dancing around, looking for any spare overlords, going to try and supply block Gunnersmate a bit more. Gunnersmate did get out of supply block quite quickly, but did still take the damage. And he's building a Hydra Dent to try and defend against this Phoenix. And what he thinks could possibly be Void Rays, if it's the same strategy as last time. He hasn't seen the Robotics Bay. He doesn't know there are Colossus. But as most of us do know, we do know he's building Colossus. And the fact that Colossus do kind of work like water against paper when it comes to fighting Hydralisks. Phoenix are now on their way across the map, going to find one Zergling and kill it off in what is called overkill, and are going to do the same to this one here, and then are going to move in, try and do some damage. Gunnersmate already started his 4th base though, wants to make sure he has some economy, has the economy, something that I think Saber neglected last time, but it was at TVZ rather than at PVZ. So it is a bit of a different situation, but Gunnersmate just wants to make sure he can do it. Hydra's trying to deal with the Phoenix. Phoenix dancing around. They do have the speed, but the Hydra's on creep do actually have a lot of speed of their own. Wallcrawler also making it very difficult for these Phoenix to do huge amounts of damage right now. They're going to find it very difficult to get in and kill off drones. So right now they're just being used as glorified expensive scouts. But they're going to be useful in the engagement if he can pick up some units that could be valuable. Then they're going to be in a good position to select anything that breaks past the main defense and goes after Colossus, which are now on the way. Extended Thermal Lance is about halfway complete. First Colossus is already done, and the second one is about a quarter complete. Plus one has just finished up. Spida is going to go for another incredibly deadly attack. He already has 2 Immortals, 1 Colossus, second Colossus is going to be finished soon, and several sentries with some Stalker backup. Phoenix going to be able to pick up anything that gets too close. And Gunnersmate still has no idea about the Colossus. He hasn't been able to get in and see. And that Colossus was parked so far back, I doubt those Zerglings were able to see it just then. So this is very good play here by Spida, keeping this tech hidden until the last possible moment. However, Gunnersmate, 4th base already being saturated very well. So playing very good here. Has a lot of Hydras this time though. Wants to go a bit more Hydra style. There's quite a few Roaches, but more Hydras this time. Meaning that if there were Void Rays, it would be very hard for Spida to use them effectively. Whereas Spida now is moving out. He still hasn't been spotted. Phoenix are sort of leading the way here. But here we go. Spida's about to see everything. He has already been melted by the Colossus. Needs to get out of there right now, or at least get into a better position. Force Field trapping a couple units here, which will just sort of evaporate here against the Colossus damage. And the Immortals are going to be very good at dealing with the Roaches. It's a really good army here out of Spida. He's very far behind in supply, but he's already chased out all the units out of that 4th base. Gonna be able to kill off the expansion. Gunnersmate moving onto the high ground though, wants to be in a better position, has chased back the Phoenix here with those Hydralisks. And it looks like will Spida be looking to move up onto that high ground where their drones are also here for the attack, or will he just continue onto the 3rd base and put himself in a no escape position? He's going to go into the no escape position, he needs to go to the force field. There are the force fields, drones get through the force fields, but they're just going to melt here. A couple of the drones do not go through, so Spida's going to continue moving down to the 3rd base. He still has enough force fields to block off the 3rd base ramp. It's a question of where he does, but he's going to be sandwiched here. Hydra's in the 3rd base now, with the rest of the army coming in from the 4th. Drones being pulled here as well. Good force fields on both sides. Only drones getting through. Hydra's not being ready to do the damage at all. Phoenix lifting up the Queens. And everything is melting here for Gunnersmate. He's finally dropped in supply below Spida. Really nice play here by Spida. Spida building cannons and all sorts of other stuff here to make sure that he can reinforce. He's picking up the Colossus to keep it alive with that Void Ray, and he's dancing the units. And there we go, GG, and Spida will move on to the next round to play